Let's begin today with a trip down memory lane. I want to take you back to ancient history, to a time that our forefathers told us about, all the way back to June 24th, 2021. In those days of yore, something happened which the media certainly hopes to leave buried under the sand, out of sight and out of mind and out of memory. It was the incident at the Wee Spa in Los Angeles. As you may still recall, if you're as old as me, and you can think back to all the way back to 3 months ago. The Wee Spa was the site of controversy when a woman who goes by Cubana Angel on Instagram uploaded a video of herself confronting the spa staff over a naked man who exposed himself inside the women's locker room. She said that she was in the locker room along with a bunch of other women and young girls when the man entered and revealed himself in all of his maleness to the females in the room. To refresh our memories, let's watch a little bit of the conversation between Cubana Angel and the staff. Towards the end of this clip, you'll also get to see the mustachioed white knight gallop into the scene to stick up for the naked exhibitionist man in the locker room and condemn the woman for her bigotry and her transphobia. Let's watch that again.
So it's okay. I just want to be clear with you. It's okay for a man to go into the women's section, show his penis around the other women, young little girls underage. Your spa, Wee Spa, condone that. Is that what you're saying? Like I asked. It's so he could stay there. He could stay there. What sexual orientation? I see a d. It lets me know he's a man. He's a man. He is a man. He is not no female. He is not a female. He is not a female. Give her money back.
Are you talking about a transgender person?
There's no such thing as transgender. He has a okay? He has a penis. His penis is hanging out. Okay, no, I'm not one. Actually, I'm a woman who knows how to stand up and speak up for my right. As a woman, I have a right to feel comfortable without a man exposing himself, okay? No, you go somewhere else. Okay, so that's right. No, he's not a transgender. He has a penis, just like you do. Are you?
So I understand.
No. Yeah. Okay, it's not okay.
It's not okay.
Okay, that's traumatizing to see that. I'm a woman. I think this is a place right here, I'm told, only for women. So how dare you sit up here and tell me I don't have a right as a woman to defend?
If it's a transgender.
I'm telling you, he has a penis, a full and testicles. Okay.
And my favorite thing about that video has always been when you hear the white knight in the background and you don't see him yet, and he says, "Are you talking about the transgender person?" And then the camera pans over, and before you see him, you have an image in your head of what this guy is going to look like, and he looks exactly like him. It's like a premonition, you know exactly what he's going to look like, and he looks like that. And then you got the smarmy look on his face the entire time, while this woman is trying to explain basic biology. No, he has a penis and testicles. That's a man. That's a man. And the white knight's standing there like, oh, okay, all right. This condescending look, as if he's the one talking to a crazy person, when it's the other way around. So the staff was against her. The white knight was against her. A man had stripped off his clothes in front of her without her consent, and most of the people in the building were taking the man's side. And this pattern would hold true on a larger scale. The left-wing social media mob, the entire mainstream media, along with the Antifa terrorists who showed up at the Wee Spa in the following days to assault and intimidate the small group of protesters who came to support Cubana Angel and the other female victims in the case. All of these groups condemned the women as bigots and transphobes, even as hoaxers and scam artists. Here's a quick sample of some of the headlines related to this incident. From Slate, violence over an alleged transphobic hoax shows the danger of underestimating anti-trans hate. The Independent, LGBTQ advocates suggest alleged trans exposure incident at the LA spa was faked. Pink News says, bigot screaming at spa staff for not being transphobic sparks furious protests. The Guardian, a nightmare scenario, how an anti-trans Instagram post led to violence in the streets. And the New Republic, how Tucker Carlson and a story about a possibly fictional trans person fueled 2 weeks of violent right-wing protests. There was an article in The Advocate titled, "Was Trans Nudity Incident at Los Angeles Spa Staged?" And this article actually suggests that the whole thing may have been a right-wing false flag operation. This was published on July 9th. The piece reads, a trans activist and journalist writing under the pseudonym Robert Lansing says the whole thing may have been an elaborate hoax. Quote, a source at the spa told The Blade there's no record of any of its usual transgender clients on its appointments guest list on the day in question. Lansing wrote in an article published on Wednesday, treatment at the spa is by appointment only, and most of its transgender clients are well known to the staff. Also, anonymous sources with the Los Angeles Police Department told Lansing there's no corroborating evidence that a trans person was at We Spa that day. No obviously trans person can be seen in the video, and no other clients have offered evidence either. A woman falsely accused of being the trans woman who so offended Cubana Angel has been harassed and received death threats. Quote, it also remains a possibility that there was a person unknown to the We Spa staff who pretended to be transgender to create an inciting incident, Lansing continued. In 2015, anti-transgender activists in Washington state deliberately encouraged men to enter women's facilities. One cisgender man entered a swimming pool changing area wearing only board shorts while claiming that he had a right to be there. He was removed from the premises without charges being filed. Ah, yes. So it didn't happen, but if it did happen, it was a right-wing conspiracy. That's what they decided to go with. They also claimed that there's no evidence that this trans person exists, even though multiple women can be heard in the video reporting that they just saw the guy's penis in the women's locker room 5 seconds earlier. Apparently, multiple women testifying to their experiences does not count as evidence. That's no evidence. At least it doesn't count as evidence when the person being accused is trans. If the person accused was a straight, white, conservative male, a quote-unquote cisgender male, as they say, all it would take is one woman testifying to something that allegedly occurred at any point within the last half century, and that would qualify not just as evidence, but as indisputable proof. That's the way these things work, as we have seen. Now, the headlines just cited are some of the more egregious examples, but every headline about this case in the left-wing press was along these lines. They all agreed that the women who complained about the transgender person were hateful transphobes, that the whole thing was probably some sort of hoax. That was the media's spin until the last few weeks, when they suddenly stopped talking about the story altogether. And if you're wondering why they all fell so eerily silent, why the left stopped condemning the horrific transphobia of Cubana Angel and her conspirators, it's because the full truth has come out. And the truth is exactly what you should expect. The quote-unquote trans woman who entered the locker room that day is a sex offender with a long history of allegations and convictions. His name is Darren Marager. He's 52 years old. He's now wanted by police on 6 felony charges of indecent exposure after 5 females at the We Spa that day, 5 of them, including one minor, reported to police that he exposed his erect penis to them in the locker room. He now has 2 warrants for his arrest stemming from this incident and has not turned himself into the police. The New York Post has more information about this sex predator who every left-wing media outlet in the country defended. It says, quote, sources tell the Post that Marager had been banned by We Spa back in 2019 due to customer complaints of an erection in the women's section. But Marager wasn't recognized by the front desk in June because they were wearing a mask. We Spa did not respond for comment. Marager says he was interviewed by the Post, and he says, I don't remember being banned, adding that there was one complaint, but maintains it was meritless and based on transphobia. Marager, who stands 6'2" and weighs around 200 pounds, says the women are mistaking a large appendage for an erection. Marager says, I don't have a small penis, but you can't say that's an erection. What if you use the men's room and someone said they don't like the size or shape of your penis? That's what they're doing. But this isn't Marager's first incident of indecent exposure. Marager was convicted in 2003 for looking through the window of an elderly woman's home in California while masturbating. He says, quote, I may have been somewhere I didn't belong, but I wasn't doing it for sexual gratification and I wasn't showing myself off, Marager contests. Marager says it was a mistake to plead guilty. When asked if he was there and masturbated on the property, Marager said, I don't remember that night, so I can't comment. It was a long time ago. Oh, yes, he doesn't remember. Doesn't remember if he masturbated in front of an elderly woman's window or not. Maybe I did. Maybe I can't remember. So long ago. Now, it may sound difficult to believe that a person wouldn't remember whether or not they did that. But considering how often this guy allegedly exposes himself to women, there may be some truth to it. He's just having trouble keeping it all straight. More from the Post. It says, Marager has also been implicated in sex crime investigations that did not result in charges. In June 2018, while on parole for a burglary conviction, Marager was identified as a suspect in an alleged indecent exposure incident at a gasoline station. According to a police report, 3 customers reported to the cashier that a person with no underwear wearing a see-through fishnet-style outfit was exposing themselves at a pump. Then on December 26, 2018, police responded to the Palm Springs Swim Center after the coaches of a high school girls' water polo team called police. According to the incident report, one of the coaches said he aggressively confronted Marager after the schoolgirls alerted him that Marager had exposed his penis in the women's changing room. And by the way, I was reading that from the New York Post, and I kept using his and him, but the New York Post was using their, because, it's important when we're talking about a sex offender who is exposing himself to young girls. It's important to respect his pronouns still. So to review, a 52-year-old male sex predator with a long history of harassing women, including the elderly and children, entered a female locker room, exposed his erect penis to a group of women and a child. The victims then complained to the staff, who all took the sex offender's side. And the media took the sex offender's side. The left took the sex offender's side. What's more, they said that if a male sex pest shows his erection to you in the locker room, it is your responsibility as a woman to accept him as a woman. A woman with an erection, to be specific. This is the actual position of the corporate press and the entire American left wing. If a sex offender is harassing or assaulting you, you have to put up with it if he says he's trans. Now, take it one step further. A male sex offender has the right to harass you and expose himself to you if he says he's trans. Being transgender grants him the right to commit sex offenses. That is the official position of the media and the left and all these people. For the left, especially those in the media, what we know and what we learn from this is that their fidelity to their religion and to the LGBT agenda comes before everything else. Before the facts, before truth, before the privacy and safety of women and girls, before basic human decency, before morality, before everything. We know that. And we're accustomed to it by now. We're kind of numb to it. But that shouldn't prevent us from realizing and appreciating just how outrageous and repugnant all of this really is. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with all your friends.